let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal. Go. 6. It's beautiful. Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Start your day with a jolt of energy and no-holds-barred opinions. This is The Rush, where Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bring you bold, unfiltered, and uncensored takes on sports, life, and everything in between. Buckle up and let's go.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com or on the Android app, thank you for tuning in this morning. As we're most likely in your car or your 18-wheeler in that convoy. We appreciate it. If you're watching on the YouTube channel this morning, give this channel a subscription. Like this video, leave your comments. And, of course, you can always follow us on the social media channels of X, Facebook, and Instagram. If you don't know, my name is Travis Justice, and his name is Ross Peterson. What's going on there, Roscoe?
Not much, buddy. Not much. Up and going here on a Thursday morning. Yeah. Finding some fun stuff, ready to rock and roll. We got another busy show today, dude.
We do. Chuck Long's going to be joining us at 7:00. Chuck is, of course, getting ready for the Iowa games, and he's got a little side hustle. He's got a little side hustle, and that would be the offensive coordinator for the Arlington Renegades of the UFL, and they're in the XFL division. They're going to be at Washington this weekend. So, Chuck and I have been going back and forth. He's like, can I do 7:30? Can I do 7:15? Can I do 7? We've been going all over the place. So I think, Bob Stoops has got him in a lot of meetings and stuff to where he's trying to negotiate time to get with us. So I appreciate that from Chuck.
So he's going to join us at 7 and then Bruno at 7:30 today.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
right.
the plan. That is the plan. I mentioned the audio stream all the time and the Android app, and we get all kind of analytics. We get it from YouTube. We get it from our audio stream. The one cool thing I like about the audio stream is, and you've seen it, I could pull up a real-time map with pinpoints where people are listening, and it's kind of addicting, really, because you're like, oh my God. You're like, it goes into Clive, goes into Johnston, goes into Altoona, Bondurant, but every single day, there's somebody listening in Atlanta, and I want to know who that is. I'm like, every day it's like, and they're one of the first ones on every morning. It's like Atlanta, Georgia. I'm like, is it somebody who moved from Des Moines to go to Atlanta? Is it somebody that's just randomly found us? It's just weird that from Atlanta.
Our listener Jason Boffman, I think, is moving down towards there.
Okay,
if I remember right. But I saw him at Bacon Fest. So I don't think he's gone yet. How long has that been happening? It's been happening for a while?
Day one.
And I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, Atlanta, Georgia. Okay. Now, when we go to Dallas, I know that's Moose. Moose is a former guy that lived in the area, went to Dallas, listens to us every day. But it's kind of addicting. And I'm like, where are people listening to today? And if we don't know you, what interests you about this show? Because, it's predominantly Iowa.
Thanks for finding us. Sure.
Yes, we do appreciate it. I love it when things fall in our lap. And something just fell in our lap yesterday. And our buddy Ken Payne reaches out yesterday afternoon and says, hey, guys, this weekend's the Greenbelt Music Festival out in Clive. Do you guys want to give away a pair of tickets? And I'm like, now, call me stupid and crazy. I've never heard of the Greenbelt Music Festival. It's a pretty big deal. It's a 2-day thing.
Yeah. And Clive, it's tickets are pretty expensive for this thing, man. It's a really good lineup of bands. So I believe what we've got, Travis, is the 2-day pass, and it's for kids 12 and under are free to get in, so it's an all ages type of deal. We got a couple of passes to give away for people to have a really fun weekend.
So we don't know how we're going to give them away, but he kind of have an idea, and I want to take it a little bit farther and get what you think of this, because we can make this happen right now, just like this. Okay. So if you're one of the people listening right now, you're going to be an advantage because you can do it right away. But I think we try to combine the Greenbelt Music Festival with the Rush Radio Show, with one of our sponsors, and I was thinking Atlanta Coca-Cola Bottling.
Okay.
So what we want people to do, now I just hear me out because you can veto it,
Okay.
is that go purchase, or if you have one in your house, a Coca-Cola product, or you could use Core Power, or you could use Rainstorm, or you could use Topo Chico, and either cut a video or take a picture of you drinking one of the Atlanta Coca-Cola Bottling Company products.
Yeah.
And we want you chugging it. We want to see you chugging it.
Okay. Now I think, I don't know. I think requiring purchase to win makes
that's true. Okay. If you happen to find one or be at a C-store and you go, oh, I'm not requiring you to do it, but it might help. Yeah, it's not required. Or if you're just at a C-store, just take a picture of the Atlanta Coca-Cola Bottling Company product.
Just take a photo with it. Hey,
yes, that's all you got.
Found a Topo Chico.
Could you see the guy at Quick Start? Hey, what are you doing? I'm just taking a selfie with this Coca-Cola orange cream. And we want you to tag us on either X, Facebook, or Instagram, and we'll reach out to you sometime today, and we'll pick like the best photo, the most creative photo.
I like your idea of including the sponsors. You're always thinking up the ladder. I'm always thinking down the ladder, because I was thinking we should do the thing where we tell people, tag a friend that should be listening. Just remind somebody, tag somebody out there that says, hey, by the way, remember you used to listen to Travis and Ross when they were on the radio? They're back on the air. You might not know about it. Here you go. And then we could give the tickets to a listener who tagged somebody. But I like this idea too.
Well, you could do both. You could get bonus points.
There are ways to enter.
Yes, ways to enter. Just be creative. And if you want to tag Atlanta Coca-Cola Bottling Company as well, you could do that. And don't forget, they have the Cokes now and the Diet Cokes that have your name on them. So if you can find a Coke or a Diet Coke with your name on them, that might be like Ray. Hey, here's a picture of me with a Coke. But you have to tag us so we're able to see it. And then we'll reach out and give you some tickets. Shovels and Rope is playing on Saturday night.
I've never heard of that group.
I've seen Shovels and Rope. It's one of Owen's favorites, actually. And I saw them in concert not too long ago. And they're really, really good. And so they're Saturday night on the outdoor stage at the Greenbelt Museum.
Listen, you shouldn't take this as a meaning of anything, because I don't know bands. I don't know.
That's fair.
Like the fact that I don't know that on Friday night the headlining band is The Devil Makes Three, and on Saturday night it's Green Sky Bluegrass. Charlie Parr is performing on Saturday night. Yeah, dude. Well, here's what I know: it'll be a beautiful music festival. Going to be a wonderful weekend for weather. So,
and I think that's the big thing.
Cool.
Great weekend for weather. Music festival. These are $149 tickets. They're 2-day passes. They fell in our lap thanks to Ken Payne, and we just get to give it away.
Friday doors open at 2, and Saturday doors open at 1.
So
that's
beautiful
tomorrow.
Day. That's tomorrow. So we're gonna have to move fast
do this today.
Yeah, we're so if we reach out to you, you're going to need to respond to our private message to go, hey, we need your email address, full name, all that stuff, so we can get you the tickets. But we're just giving stuff away, because if you want to go see Shane Gillis as well, one of the funniest guys on the planet, that at Wells Fargo Arena on May 31st, you're going to be sitting in the Choice Creative Suite. Yeah, these are sweet tickets. These just aren't, out with the common people in the small seats. You're going to get food, you're going to get drink, you're going to get access to a clean bathroom where you don't have to wait in line.
Might have to wait in line, but not very long.
I've never waited in line.
Really?
No. No.
What was I just there for? Oh, the UFC. That's what it was. Because with the UFC, you have fight gets over, you've got, it's almost like an intermission. And so there a couple times I'd go out there, there'd be a line at the suite bathroom and be like, I'll wait a little bit.
Time to pee. Let's go. Go to therushradio.com. That's therushradio.com, and go to the promotions page. Just put in your name, your email address, your telephone number, and you're going to be right there to go to Shane Gillis. Of course, comedy is a big thing. We like comedians. Ross and I have had comedians on the show before. We'd have one every week if one would come on with us. But Greg Warren, who hosts the Consumers podcast, is getting ready to, and he's been traveling with Nate Bargatze, and he's kind of under that Nate Bargatze umbrella. He just got back from Europe. And I know Colleen had talked to you on at my mom's funeral about having Greg Warren on. Well, yeah. I got kind of panicked yesterday, Ross. Got an email on my Rush Radio account, which is you can email me, Travis@therushladio.com, and only email me because Ross doesn't check his email.
Yes, I do.
Do you?
It's on my phone and everything now. Yeah.
Okay, now it's on you. Good. That's good. Or you can go Ross@therushladio.com. But I got one of those standard invites to set up an interview from like the agency. Like, hey, we have hold on, the story gets good. So he goes, we have limited availability for Greg Warren, like 9:30, 11:30, and 12:30 on these certain dates. And I just write back and said, hey, I appreciate the offer. We're live from 6 to 8 Central. We do our interviews at 6:30, 7, and 7:30. That's our interview slot time. And I said, appreciate the offer. Promoter writes back, we're out in the West Coast right now, and Greg doesn't want to get up at 5:30, but Greg really wants to do your show, and I know he knows you too, so can you wait till we get back to the Midwest? I said, absolutely, we can wait till we get. But how many times does a promoter do that?
That's nice.
Like, yeah, it is. Yeah. We're like, he's making time for us. Yeah, I like that. So
big Greg Warren fan. I like him, but been a fan of his for a long time, so that'll be fun. Like he's Midwestern guy, funny dude, wrestler.
He's a clean comic. I mean, you could take a kid to that show and be perfectly fine with it. So, so that was kind of nice because you know what those promoter emails are like. Well, you got to work with our schedule, and this is what it's like. And promoter Greg wants to do your show, so we'll make this happen. So I like that.
I had to one time in my life, I had to fire off an email to a promoter saying, "Lose my email." And you know who it was for?
Who?
The UFC. We had tried because we get the same thing. When the UFC has availabilities, they send the same thing out. Hey, do you want to talk to this fighter? You can do it at 4:53 for 7 minutes. You're like, okay, yeah, we'd love that availability. Too late, no good. So then even when you would have like a local thing, like if we tried to get Jeremy on, you'd reach out to the UFC. Hey, we'd love to have this local angle. Nope, sorry, we don't do that. So at one point they reached out to me and were like, hey, we'd love to have you interview this guy. And I said, we don't have time. We don't have that time, that specific time you asked for doesn't work. And they got some nasty reply about like, do you know who we are type of thing. And I was like, I've tried for years to deal with you guys. I'm done. Please lose my email because I don't even want to. I'm sick of beating my head against the wall to try to get people on. So
and that's fair because they think like you should bend over backwards to accommodate their schedule. Like, well, I mean, we record interviews every now and then, and it's just not the same as doing it live. I mean, I don't mind recording interviews. But it's not, for some reason, it's not the same as doing it live. I prefer, and I think you prefer to do them live.
Totally. But yeah, anyway, that's glad that they reached out. That's very nice of them to do that. Very cool.
The Minnesota Timberwolves advanced to the Western Conference Finals last night. They beat Golden State 121-110. T-Wolves got a great game from Julius Randle, 29 points. All 5 starters for the T-Wolves were in double figures last night. The bench contributed. Here was the interesting stat last night. And again, we're not big NBA guys, but they shot 63% from the field, Ross. 63% from the field. And, of course, Golden State was without Steph Curry. After the game, Steve Kerr said, Golden State was a championship-quality team with Steph Curry. I don't know if I'd go that far. Just Oklahoma City is so much better than everybody else in the West. And, hell, I think better than everybody in the East as well. But Minnesota, onto the Western Conference Finals. Will you find yourself rooting for Minnesota just by proximity?
I don't know if it's just by proximity, Travis. I think it's Anthony Edwards. I like that guy a lot. I've been a fan of his for a couple of years now, and it's been fun to watch his star rise. It probably has something to do with the Wolves here in town. It's probably got something to do with it's one of the closest NBA teams, but I don't think it's proximity. I think it's enjoyment of watching this team play. They're a fun team to watch.
I think ideally, maybe for both of us, and I don't mean to speak for you.
No, you're fine.
But if we had like a Minnesota and Indiana final, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, for us, that would be ideal. Trav, I don't know what it is about this Minnesota team. If it's rooting for a team that hasn't been there, you know what I mean? That kind of Red Sox Cubs things that happen. There's a couple of connections back here to Des Moines. Naz Reid played several years here for the Iowa Wolves, so that's fun to see him. He plays significant minutes for this Wolves team.
Luka Garza is on the he did not play last night, coach's decision, but the rosters are a little bit deeper. But Luka's on that team. And then you have Tyrese Halliburton with the Pacers. So there's just if I were to draw up my ideal NBA finals right now, it would be the T-Wolves and the Pacers. Both have a long way to go. Getting through the conference finals is no easy task. Pacers waiting to find out who they play. Boston last night without Jason Tatum beat the Knicks 127-102. We see that when a star player goes down, we see that extra focus come in, right? You're like, okay, you're without your star player. What are you going to do? They dialed in defensively last night. Now they drew closer. The Knicks still lead that series 3-2. Did you see that photo of Jason Tatum after surgery?
No, I didn't.
Oh, so he was in his hospital bed, and you could just see his whole leg wrapped up, and you're just like, oh, it looked painful just looking at the photo. It's one of those things you're like, I never want that to happen to me. I'm never going to go on an extended walk again. It's just like in the fear that my Achilles tendon is going to blow out.
Never playing pickleball. Where was I going to go with that, Trav? I'm so sorry. I don't know why that stupid Achilles thing started to pop into my head there. The Celtics without Jason Tatum is what I was going to talk about. Remember when he got hurt, they mentioned right away, this team, this is a good team. It's not just Jason Tatum. This is a world championship basketball team with a superstar on it. And they went 8-2 in games that he didn't play in this year. They were good. And I do think that something happens there when a guy that gets up most of your shots isn't there. It opens up opportunities for other, again, super talented guys who have just been kind of waiting in the wings because they've got Jason Tatum as a superstar. I think that's right. When you don't have that guy, everybody looks around and says, all right, I'm going to do a little bit. I can do a little bit more tonight. I can carry a little bit more water. I'm going to have a little more opportunity. The competitive nature kicks in where you go, all right, now I get to be the man. And if you've got a team of dudes, you can figure it out and you can win, even in a conference semifinals like this. So I'm not surprised by it. I mean, I don't think that the Celtics will maintain it. And it's dumb to think that they are somehow a better team without Jason Tatum. But you did see that last night, man. Whatever you want to call it, adrenaline, opportunity, competitiveness, something happens with guys when a great player goes down with the guys around go, we got this.
Well, I think we saw, remember when Owen Freeman went out for the Hawks? And we're like,
this happens.
It does. It's like, we're like, oh, what's this team going to be like? And I think, if I remember correctly, and this just popped into my head, so I didn't have time to go back and look. But I remember, I think Iowa won the next game without Owen Freeman because it was just dialed in. It was like,
yeah, and they played a different style of basketball than their opponent planned on them playing. Did you see? Speaking real quick about, did you see Draymond got fined last night? $50,000
for what? Talking negatively and criticizing the officials, correct?
For, quote, making an inappropriate comment that questions the integrity of game officials. Making an inappropriate comment that questions the integrity of officials. Y'all MFers are cheating.
What? And I get why leagues, because this is you can't do it in college, you can't do it in the pros. But I don't think officials should be immune from criticism.
No, I don't either. I don't think they should be immune from it. But okay, now I want to walk a fine line here, because they shouldn't be immune to it, but at the same time, they shouldn't just be. Draymond Green doesn't have the right to go out and, MF a dude up and down the court, call him a cheater, call him a liar, question his integrity, go out in front of the press, say all sorts of horrible stuff about how there's a conspiracy to make him an angry black man. Did you hear that, by the way? You were gone.
I did.
So I'm glad they're hitting Draymond Green with a fine.
See, this is the tough part. And we just got a comment in the chat that officials have ruined basketball at all levels. Well, hold on for a second.
Fans have ruined it. You got to go a step further.
Yes.
It's not the is officiating bad? Yes, at all levels in all sports, it's bad.
Not all are bad, but the collective as a whole, you're going to get some bad calls.
Right. Okay, so why is that happening? Because we can't get good people in there. Why can't you get good people? Because of the way they're treated. Why are they treated that way? Because of fans. It's not the officials' fault. People, human beings, don't want to put themselves in that position because of us. I mean, I told you about that Eli had a buddy that's a really good kid, man. Great kid. Last year he was umpiring. So I said to his dad this year, I'm like, hey, how's Harrison enjoying umpiring this year? Oh, he's not doing it. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. He went and did like some 10U games and parents were screaming at him. And he came home. He's like, Dad, I don't want to do that anymore. Way to go. Way to go, parents. There you go. You had a smart kid, a good kid, wanted to be an official, could have maybe done. I mean, again, there's a career path there. Travis and I both know that. Did a couple of games at 10U and says, I'm not going to get screamed at by moms and dads.
Well, I mean, think about this. We had John Higgins on a couple of years ago on our old show, and it's still pinned as the main story on my X account. Remember, John Higgins, who's done several NCAA championships, decided to go referee an AAU game with his son, and the coach didn't know who was doing the game and went off on John Higgins. And he's like, man, I've done... And John, whether you like him or not, was considered one of the best officials in the country. And he's at an AAU game, and you're like, you go off on that guy? And John's like, I'm never doing that again. I'll just stick to my college games where I can, at least the coaches know me and have a little bit of respect. And I don't even know if his son is still officiating because of that incident, right? You're like, oh, I want to follow my dad's footsteps. You go to an AAU game, and a coach and fans go after you. And we brought this up yesterday or a couple days ago. The average age of an NCAA official is like in the 50s now because you don't have a backlog, a pipeline, should we say, of officials because people they'll start at the high school level or the AAU level and do exactly what your buddy's kid did is like, I don't have the stomach for this. And so they don't get the chance to improve because you do improve as you go along, but you have to. The reason you do these 10 and under games is so you can make your mistakes at these lower levels. And there's going to be a lot of mistakes at those lower levels. So you get better and better and better and better. And we talked to Sam Burnaby on the show yesterday, and I didn't know this. You guys brought it up. I didn't know they're getting to the point now where they have systems that just call balls and strikes at Little League games.
Yeah. At youth sports complexes, Travis, they're having automated officials. Twofold. Two reasons why. Number one, to solve this issue. You can't get umpires. Number two, you don't have to pay them. Don't have to pay them. Can buy a system at one time. It's a big cost up front. And then for years, we don't have to pay officials. Don't have to worry about scheduling. Guys not showing up. Again, this thing. Who are they going to argue with? Who's a mom going to scream at when her kid swings at a curveball?
You got to go throw a baseball or take a bat to the system, well, you're going to get charged for that.
Probably. You know what?
Yeah,
You just nailed it. It's exactly what's going to happen. People are going to go up and yell at a camera.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Have you done much umpiring or officiating? I haven't done it.
I did when I was a kid.
Never wanted to do it.
When Dad was like the president of the league, we were like the on-call family. You know what I mean? Did it a lot. Never once had an issue, Travis. And this was 30 years ago now. Never once had a parent that was screaming out. In fact, the only area of town that was known as like, hey, if you go down to play at the fairgrounds, be careful. Parents will climb the backstop to fight the umpires. Be like, what? Yeah. There's been situations where the umpires had to lock themselves in the concession stand to protect themselves from the fans.
Where did that start?
Like, what are you talking about? And now that's common. Now you hear those stories and you're like, oh, that could happen in Waukee.
Did that start when people had to start paying a lot of money to play baseball?
No, because that, Travis, no. That, because what we're talking about down at the fairgrounds is just...
That's fair.
It starts with people living vicariously through their kids. It starts when the game means more to the parents than it does the kids. You know, on the bench... You've got the whole cross section. You got the kid on the bench that is there for the game, loves the game, wants to play, can't wait to play the game. At the other end of the bench, you've got the kid that is there for the treats. He didn't care about the game. I just want double treats. I'll roll around in the dugout so my uniform gets dirty, so that way it looks like I played hard and I can get double treats. And you've got that same cross section happen with their parents. You've got parents that show up with their chair and they are like, okay, today is the day my kid gets a scholarship. This is it. And I'm not letting anybody stop my little boy or girl from having her moment in the sun today. Damn it, she's been working all summer long. Nobody is going to stop my little girl from enjoying this day. Buckle up.
And then that becomes a learned behavior because said kid sees said parent do that. And it's just when they get to have kids, they probably end up doing the same thing.
And you see it, Travis, like sometimes it's a one-off. Sometimes it's one parent in a group. And you can see the other 12 parents like, oh, he's acting this way again. But most of the time, dude, it's a collective. It's a birds of a feather. It is it's the parents act like the coaches do. And if the coach is out there screaming and yelling at an umpire or giving the business to the other thing that I hear a lot in youth sports is the cheering against the other team. Instead of saying, come on, Travis, you got it, buddy. They'll say things like, hey, don't worry, Travis, he can't throw a strike. Instead of saying,
to get in his head.
Instead of saying, hey, Travis, just keep throwing strikes, they'll say, Travis, don't worry, he's afraid to swing. That's the stuff I hear, and I'm like, how immature are we? You're getting in the head of a 9-year-old. What are you doing?
Try to go opposite field. There's no way he's going to catch it right.
Yeah.
515-517-2303. You can interact with us on X, Facebook, and Instagram. We're here till 8 o'clock. Chuck Long going to join us at 7 o'clock. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
When was the last time you had your alignment checked? If it's been a while, your car could be out of alignment and you wouldn't even know. Improper alignment can lead to poor gas mileage, premature tire wear, and poor grip on the road. That's why we offer free alignment checks with any regular service to ensure your Cadillac can handle whatever the road throws at it. So give us a call or schedule online at williscadillac.com.
Missing a quality, home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Spring cleaning continues. Come down to Land Rover Des Moines to get your front and rear differential fluid services done for $199.95 each. Preventative maintenance is important to ensure your vehicle runs smoothly down the road. To schedule, give us a call or head online at LandRoverDesMoines.com.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show. We're here till 8 o'clock today. Chuck Wong scheduled to join us at 7 o'clock. Bruno's going to be in with us at 7:30. Ross, I thought you would appreciate this little story. I didn't go to the Niall Kinnick iClub function last night in Council Bluffs in Omaha, but they had one last night. And Ben McCullum originally wasn't on the docket to appear, and that's why I didn't go. When I first saw the list of who was going to go, it was just a bunch of assistant coaches and Tom Brands. Not that I didn't want to see Tom Brands, but I'm like, I'm not. If Ferentz isn't going to be there, if McCullum's not going to be there, I'm not going to go. Well, Ben McCullum showed up. And Chad Leistico was there last night, and I had a couple of buddies that were there last night. And Ben McCullum, we talk about making connections, work the room. He went around and shook everybody's hands, and then my buddy Ryan Osbar was there and took a selfie with Ryan, and that's what we're talking about making connections. When you go to the common average fan who probably is not spending a lot of money, NIL, and they're just Hawk fans, right? But you make that connection, that builds fandom, that builds enthusiasm. And it was good to see Ben McCullum doing that last night.
Hey, Coach Bill Fennelly, how did you build your program? What was his answer? One person at a time. How did you build the momentum from the 90s to where you were selling out or one of the highest attended, and you weren't even a top 25 program perennially? How'd you do that? One handshake at a time. When the first year, the first game, the first thing that we did, we went to every person and shook their hand. Wow, that had to take some time. It was building the foundation. Good. Travis, have you talked to anybody yet who's been around Coach McCullum or seen him that has said, No. Everybody walks away from that guy and goes, "Whoa, that's an impressive dude. There's an energy. There's something there. Awesome, dude. Awesome. Hope."
Yeah, building hope. Because you know what's going to happen? Everybody who was at that Niall Kinnick iClub meeting last night is going to go to work. They're going to go, "You're not going to believe what I did last night." Coach Ben McCullum was there last night. He took a selfie with me. Look at my selfie. That's me with Coach. And it builds you time. It builds you credibility. It builds that connection.
What builds it even more, Travis, than just the photo and saying I was with him is when people go, "And man, he's a really good guy."
Yeah.
Like he asked me my name and he asked about my kids and we talked and we made a connection. He won't remember me, but I'll remember him.
Hey, Coach, you remember that one time at the mattress factory in Omaha? You came over for the Niall Kinnick. We took a selfie together. And all you got to do is go, "I remember that. Yeah. I remember that." You can lie through your teeth, but if you say, "I remember that," do that once a year, and it makes everybody happy.
I love it. I love it. You know, we need to get Jason Willis. When I was at Willis the other day, Jason told me he's got the Coaches versus Cancer because he MCs that event every year. And he's got that coming up pretty soon. So we should get Jason on to kind of talk about his preparation for that and, you know, how he got involved and all that stuff.
Get some coaches on too, because they'll be coming to town and have a conversation and what that means to them. Of course, tomorrow we're going to have Jamie Pollard, athletic director from Iowa State, on.
Now, this is news for us. You said, of course, like we've been talking about it all week.
No, of course, the House settlement is not been settled yet, and that's going to come out, we anticipate, in the next couple of days. It could drop today. But Jamie Pollard is going to be with us tomorrow at 7:30, and we'll talk a lot about this. But the last time we talked about the House settlement, it's been a couple weeks. We've talked about the roster limits. The NCAA and the member schools have submitted what they think is a counteroffer to what the judge is looking for. The judge is reviewing that as we speak, and we're waiting for her to come back. But part of this, remember, was that clearinghouse. I think we talked about it with Brett Bloom from the We Will Collective, where most NIL deals have to go through Deloitte to determine fair market value. Now, if I remember correctly, I don't agree with it. I don't think because who determines fair market value?
I've thought a lot about it, Travis. I'll tell you, I'm a little bit more in line with it now than I was when I first heard about it, because I'm with you. My initial reaction is fair market value is exactly what it says. Nobody gets to determine that. A person with money, a consumer, a buyer is the one that decides fair market value. What will they pay you for it? That's the fair market value. But I do think with how complicated this is, with how in the weeds we are, with how much potential there is for people to be taken advantage of, for how much we've seen of deals actually not getting paid, that these contracts are just being straight up ignored at times. I do think that having some sort of regulatory body might be a good thing, but I don't know that I'm inching my way closer to it.
Let me see if I can change your mind, or not really change your mind. What if I told you there was an exemption to fair market value?
Can you explain more?
If you are a publicly traded company, you don't have to go through the clearinghouse.
Well, there's your loophole. Okay. Why are we writing this stuff down? Why do we even come up with this stuff if there's instantly a loophole that that explains everything? Man, what was the athletic department we were talking about last week? Was it Kentucky?
That formed an LLC. Yes.
Yeah. Huh.
So if you are a publicly traded company, Nike, Google, if you're traded on the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange, you don't have to go through the Deloitte clearinghouse to determine whether your investment in NIL is fair market value. If you're a mom and pop shop, if you are a small business that's not publicly traded, well, you've got to follow different rules. Who has more money?
Yeah, right.
Who has more money? That would be the publicly traded companies. Now, I kind of get what they're thinking. Well, you've got stockholders, you've got a board. No board would make a decision that's not in the best interest of the company.
Yeah, of course. That's never happened.
Want to bet? So if you're Oregon right now, who's your number one donor? It's Phil Knight.
Phil Knight, you're right.
So Phil Knight and Nike wouldn't have to go through the clearinghouse to determine what fair market value is. Now, I don't know if that changes if Phil Knight does it individually or if he does it under the Nike banner, which Oregon is a Nike school. There's a lot of Nike schools out there, a ton of Nike schools. But Oregon probably gets more love than other schools because Phil Knight is an Oregon grad, donates a ton of money to the university. But there's the loophole.
So the contract can still come from the publicly traded company.
Yes. And they don't have to
go. And that's a workaround the $20 million. That's a workaround all of it.
100%.
There's a hard line in the sand. You're on the other side of it.
It's just interesting that they would create that loophole that says, well, we're going to do this.
Well,
but if you're,
Travis probably had to. This is why I wish I was a lawyer. They probably had to put that loophole in, because you can't just create a clearinghouse that says, hey, by the way, we get to tell private companies what they get to do now. No, you don't. No, you don't. Who the hell do you think you are? You don't get to write that down and make that a law. You don't get to tell us what we get to do with our money. If we want to pay a kid and make a contract with him, we're a publicly traded company. We're going to make a contract and pay a kid. Dude.
It's just, and this is all in the fine print, right? And somebody's just taken the time. I didn't come up with it. You think I read that whole settlement? No way. It's too many pages. But somebody took the time to read this stuff, and they're like, oh, look at that. Publicly traded companies are exempt from clearinghouse to determine fair market value, such as going through Deloitte, which has like the exclusive contract to determine said fair market value. But then I look like a big company like Hy-Vee, which invested a lot of money into Caitlin Clark and others. They're not a publicly traded company. At least I don't think Hy-Vee is a publicly traded. They're
employee-owned and operated, yeah.
But they would have to go through said clearinghouse. Big company, lots of money, but they would have to go through the clearinghouse.
This is an important, and Jay might be right here. He says they exclude public companies because Deloitte would have a conflict of interest issues as they audit public companies. See, that's what I just think that they probably had to write this in to go, we don't have that authority.
Yeah.
Our jurisdiction ends with NCAA because they've granted us this authority.
And they're like, we make a lot of money auditing said public companies. We don't want to endanger that relationship. We'll do this for you. We'll have a team that determines fair market value,
and we'll just
really going to go.
We'll just wet our beak a little bit on every deal. We'll just go in and we'll just wet our beak. Okay, everyone will just kind of come in. And we'll just take a little piece. That's how we'll take, because we have costs. And the next year, our people, they're going to need a raise, so we're going to need a little bit longer of a beak and a little bit more of a drink. And then in a couple years, God, our CEO needs a bonus. So now we got to take a little bit more of that deal. Deloitte.
And what's going to happen? You're going to have this team that determines fair market value, and in a year, they're going to come back and say, oh, that was a lot more work than we anticipated or thought it was going to be, because we're dealing with every athlete in the NCAA. Just look at football. Football alone, you'd have to run every deal through it that's above and beyond the $20.5 million that's going to be allotted from universities.
That's a good point, dude. I honestly didn't even consider the volume of stuff here. How many employees is Deloitte going to have to sift through the clearinghouse to get this stuff done in a reasonable manner?
And you probably need an actuary. This would be a question for Brad Heinrichs, right? You're an actuary or something to go, do you need actuarial science to determine this is the position he plays, this is the amount of minutes he plays, he's a starter, non-starter. Well, this is the table of what that is. It's going to get confusing. I think I like the Wild West. I'm getting more in favor of the Wild West.
I'm of the mindset that it's going to settle out. That, and maybe I'm being naive here to think that this is the way that the free market works. That eventually things will figure it out. That the people with the money will look for return on investment. They'll see that it's not there, and they will decrease the amount of money that they're paying to have these athletes move around the country.
I think both things can be true. And hear me out. You'll always, I agree with what you're saying 100%. But another thing that could be true, as we've seen it with PEDs, we've seen it with how players are paid from brown paper bag. There will always be somebody trying to beat the system. So two things can be true.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right?
Yes.
And that's, you're right, Travis. They're going to skirt the rules. They're going to find a way around it. They're going to find ways to entice these young players to come to their universities over the other one. And they should be able to. I want to be clear about that too. They should be able to. Each university should be able to show up with their own package of stuff. Say, here's what we offer you. And then you shut the door and the next one comes in. There should not be this community of conversation where we go, okay, we all get to offer the exact same thing, so you just have to pick your favorite color. Do you want to play in a red uniform or a blue uniform? Because that's really the only difference. No. No. There's a whole package of stuff that they get to present. I don't know what, Travis, I'm with you. At this point, I'm okay with this Wild West thing. I'm okay with the change. I'm okay with the disruption. I'm all right with the people that have been really comfortable in really powerful positions getting uncomfortable here. Go, wait a minute. Where's all of our millions of dollars going to go? Where are we going to come up with this? Dude, did you see that clip? And we're going to have Jamie on tomorrow. Did you see the clip of Jamie talking about how we saved for this and we still don't have it? We knew this was coming. We did. Again, Jamie's an accountant. We did everything we could to prepare for this. It was bigger than we thought. That's Iowa State with the success that they've had the last couple of years.
What did he say? He said on that clip, because he was doing a podcast, and I think he said they have reserves for like 2 years to pay for this.
Yeah.
After that, there's not much there. And he used interesting language, which we'll ask about. If we choose to stay in the Big 12,
if we want to be a Power 4 conference, if we want to be a Power 4 team, if we want to be a Big 12, we got major changes coming.
Because what do you want us to be? This or I don't think he was picking on Northern Iowa, but he was using Northern Iowa as an example.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
What he said was, do you want our athletic program to be like Northern Iowa? And by the way, if you said to Northern Iowa fans, do you want your athletic program to be like Iowa State, you'd get a resounding yes. So it's not a knock. It's just pointing out the facts and the scoreboard.
So Jamie will be on with us tomorrow, I believe, at 7:30, and we'll have a nice about half-hour conversation with him. And I'm looking forward to that because he doesn't hold back. He lays it out there in his terms, and there's so many questions. What's crazy is we're getting closer and closer. I do feel sorry for these coaches. I do feel sorry for these universities because they're trying to plan. They're trying to, get ahead of the game. And we thought this thing was going to be settled a month ago. And here we are coming up middle of May. We are right smack dab on the 15th of May, in the middle of May, and still don't have finality to what they're supposed to be doing when it comes to NIL, roster caps, all this stuff.
I do feel bad for guys like Jamie Pollard because you get you start to read the tea leaves. You go, okay, all right, guys, this is the way this thing's going to go. Let's prepare for in 9 months, this is going to be the news. And then it goes the exact opposite direction. You prepare, you say, all right, worst case scenario is this. Oh, wait. Worst case scenario was way over on the other side of the aisle. Crap. Okay, everybody, reshuffle the deck. Reshuffle. All right, get things ready for the way things are going here. Boom, 180 again. Jamie's thought a lot about it. It'll be a fun conversation. It'll be an interesting conversation tomorrow. Because, again, he's always very honest. He's very candid. And it does seem like this, again, all of these conversations we've had, with one exception, and that was Coach McDermott. All of these conversations we've had, you see the stress on these men's faces. You go, hey, let's talk about 20 years ago. And they go, the golden years.
And maybe Coach McDermott didn't have the stress because he knows in a year or two he's riding off into the sunset.
And again, they prepared. He's in a different position. He's at a school where they don't have football. Maybe that's a part of it. Mo money, mo problems, man. And that could be one of the things that you're dealing with here. Is the Big East better off not having football?
because like he said, the crazy thing about the Big East, he goes, we could fully fund at $20 million, but they won't because they don't have that kind of money, but they have the luxury to do so if they were able to come up with $20 million, but they're not under the pressure to go, oh, I'm just waiting for the time when you have and this will happen. Hear me out. I'm going back to the clearinghouse now. We hit summer workouts. We hit fall camp. Somebody's not in camp yet because they haven't gone through the Deloitte clearinghouse to make sure that their money's going to be available.
Happen, Trav. Again, there's going to be a backlog. I can't imagine Deloitte is able to hire the employees to build the workforce. It's going to be needed to go through thousands of these deals. Every I, every T, make sure that everything's right and that it's fair, air quotes, fair. Skinner wrote in and says, AI will set the base price for a position. I bet artificial intelligence is going to do some heavy, heavy lifting in this process.
Yeah, it'll be a simple formula. You just input the data, and here's what it says. But
again, I'm not smart enough to know how it makes for those adjustments. How does it know that a Caitlin Clark is worth way more than a Haley Van Lith or whoever you want to throw into there? How does it?
Models smarter than us will figure it out.
Yeah. Brian says, I just think this Wild West is going to end bad. Humans always screw things up with being greedy and power hungry. Greedy and power hungry, you're right, Brian. Always screwing things up, you're right. And by the way, it doesn't matter what rules you put in place. Just like we talked about, they're gonna find ways around it. Doesn't mean you don't put rules in place. Just don't think that you're going to be able to legislate morality. Don't think that you're going to write down some rules and everybody's going to go, oh, okay, all right. Even the guys that we thought were doing it right weren't doing it right. We're cheating.
And by the way, I know players get a bad rap now because they look greedy and hungry, but
I hate that argument
because the NCAA, these institutions, they knew the kind of money that was flowing in.
I hate that argument.
Take.
Yes. Yeah, it's the players that are greedy. How much does the coach make? How much did the assistant coaches make? You're telling me the players are greedy. Coach has a buyout? If the coach wants to leave, somebody else has to pay millions of dollars to another institution. It's the players that are greedy. The ones that are out there putting their lives or putting their bodies on the line. It's not a good argument, but it works. People fall for it and people repeat it. That's the thing is people hear it and they don't just hear it and go, are the players greedy? They hear it and they go, yeah. That guy said the players are greedy. They obviously are because they're asking for money.
A comment on YouTube, couldn't NIL lead to investment in players and not schools? And that's what it's going to be. So the schools will have the $20.5 million or whatever that number is. It's 20.5 or 21 million bucks. So it doesn't matter where they play. Any publicity is good advertising. 100%. But what we're talking about is publicly traded companies don't have to go through a clearinghouse to determine what fair market value is. But if you're a small company like Willis Automotive, let's say we want to give a player a car. Well, we got to determine if he gets a Range Rover or if he gets a Chevy Cavalier. Right? I mean, that's the best way to...
A great example of what this is. Where Jason Willis doesn't get to look and go, oh, man, I'd love to drive a Range Rover for a year. He's got to reach out to a third party to say, hey, here's who I am. Here's who this young man is. Can you guys push this into your little computer and see what the value of this can be?
Kia Sportage. I mean,
Jason has to call the athlete and go, hey, here's the bad news. They came up with a dollar value that's lower than any car I have. So we're just going to cut you a check. We don't have a car that's $3,000. Clearinghouse said I can only give you 3,000. Get better.
You want to, and now I'm taking it just different. Not only that, you're going to have to select off the pre-owned lot, not the new lot.
That's what Dusty writes in. You want a kid to transfer? Hey, we got you a Subaru to drive for the next year. Damn it!
Outback or Forester? Because I like the Outback. I don't know if I want a Forester. Me, I'd be like, any car's great. Yeah, just give me a car. Oh, man. I like the Wild West. But I'm with you. It works itself out. But two things can be true at the exact same time. Oh, man.
Hey, real quick on the Draymond Green thing. Okay? Yeah. So Draymond did not call. I saw this clip. I did not realize this clip that I saw is what Draymond Green is being fined for. So at the end of the game, the cameras caught Draymond Green on the sideline explaining to his teammates the point spread. Okay? The cameras caught him saying several times, reminding his teammates, 5.5. The point spread is 5.5. Golden State then, down by 8, goes out, attempts multiple three-pointers, hits a 3 to make it a 5-point game with 5 seconds left, and then they don't foul when Minnesota inbounds the ball. That's what Draymond Green's being fined the $50,000 for. When they say he was questioning the integrity of the officials, Draymond Green was implying the officials are in on the fix with the point spread. We all know that it's 5.5. Let's screw them over.
Remember, Jose Canseco wrote a book, and we all thought he was crazy. All thought he was crazy. 515-517-2303. We got an hour in the books. We got an hour to go. Chuck Long scheduled to join us just after 7 o'clock. We'll catch up with Chuck and the Iowa games coming up, find out what he's doing in the UFL. And then Bruno at the bottom of the hour. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
The sun's out and the deals are hot. It's time to spring into savings at Willis Chevrolet of Granger. We're your small town, family-owned Chevy store. Drive home a new Silverado 1500 with 2.9 APR for 72 months. Get 1.9 APR on the dependable Chevy Equinox, or take on any adventure in a rugged new Colorado with $1,000 total cash allowance. Think electric? Step into the future with the all-new Equinox EV and enjoy $7,500 in potential federal tax credits. Stop in today or visit us online at willischevy.com.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time homebuyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Spring is here. It's pothole season. Potholes can wreak havoc on your suspension and alignment. If you come into Willis Chevrolet during the month of May and mention this video, we'll check your alignment for free and give you $30 off if you need one. Give us a call or schedule online today at willischevy.com.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Good to have you along on a Thursday. If you are listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com or on the Android app, thanks for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, give this channel a subscription. Like this video. You can leave your comments. And, of course, follow us on our social media channels, X, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson. Joining us now on the Rush Radio Show. And it's good to have him back and being able to talk to him. The one, the only Chuck Long. What's going on there, Chuck?
Travis, Ross, how you guys doing?
Doing great, man. It's good to see you, buddy. How you doing?
Good to see you guys. I'm coming to you live from Arlington, Texas, in the hotel I've been living in for the last 3 months.
Oh, they don't even give you like a short-term like rental. You got to live in a Hilton.
I'm in a residence inn. It's like a little apartment. If you ever been in one of those, it's fine with me. You know, I could have gone to Airbnb with other guys, but I like living by myself, and I get a clean room every night. You know,
don't have to clean it. Perfect.
And I need that. You know, I need that. So.
Yeah, you're at the age where, do I want roommates? No, I did that in college. I don't want to do that anymore.
I don't want to do that anymore. No more roommates.
Oh,
is this your first long stay in Arlington?
No, this is my third year down here.
Third year there. Okay, I thought that you. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
man, I didn't realize you'd been down there that young.
Yeah, third year down here. We come down from February to June, so we have 3 games to go, and and then there's playoffs and a championship after that. But we're fighting, trying to get into that right now. But
people may not know, but Chuck is the offensive coordinator for the Renegades of Arlington and with the UFL. What is the competition of the UFL like? I'm going to be honest. I'm like footballed out. I don't watch a lot of UFL. Just tell us about the level of play and the competition in the UFL.
It's a notch below the NFL. It's a combination of guys that have played in the NFL. I mean, we have 5-6 year guys that played in the NFL 5 or 6 years or so, and they just want to keep their career going. Not ready for the real world yet, so to speak. And then we have guys that have been cut off of NFL teams, but they're talented guys. You know, I learned a long time ago being in the NFL. I had an old coach tell me, "Hey, there's more good players than there are jobs in this league." That's why it's so hard to stay and because there's a lot of competition out there. But we have really good players. We have rookies that have been cut and they want to keep their dream alive, and that's the best part about it. Is I think to give you an idea, out of 400 players in this league, I think 80 of them signed an NFL contract last year. Now, not all of them stuck. Now they made the team, but at least 80 guys signed with a team. So trying to keep the dream alive, and it's a good league. It's a good product for sure.
It's got to make for a really interesting dynamic in that locker room too, right, Chuck? I mean, you've got guys, you've got the whole cross section of athletic careers happening there.
Right, absolutely. Like I said, there's NFL veteran guys that want to keep playing. There's rookies that have been cut. It's really, it's really a good deal. Now, one thing that happens, like, we had 50% of our team back this year from last year. So a lot of guys either make it in the league and stay. Jalen Redmond of the Minnesota Vikings was on our team last year. He's with the Vikings, had a really good year with the Vikings. So that's an example of a guy that made it off of our team. But then there's guys that just hang it up. They've had enough of it, and they gave it a shot, and they want to go on to the real world, so to speak. So it's just it's ever changing all the time, just like an NFL team.
Of course, you've been a coach a long time. You got out of it for a little bit. Did you ever think when Bob Stoops called you and said, "Hey, let's get the band back together"? And you're like, "Well, I'm at the age where I can winter in Dallas and then go back home for the summer." I mean, did you think you would coach again?
No, I mean, you never know in this business with coaching, but no, I did not. I wasn't planning on it. I love my Iowa Sports Foundation job in Iowa. That's really my bread and butter, so to speak. And I love that job. So I wasn't really expecting anything. I've always been that way anyway. I've never really gone after things. If something happens in my life, I look at it and either take it or I don't. But in this case, Bob took the job and he gave me a call and said, "Hey, Charlie," he calls me Charlie, "come on down here." And it's been really great to work for him again. We've had a relationship obviously since college, and then I coached for him at Oklahoma. So he trusts me, I trust him, kind of deal. It's all about relationships in any business, as you guys know. So it was just a natural, easy thing. And then on top of that, the icing on the cake is our first grandson. My grandson lives here in Dallas.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah, my oldest daughter and her husband have settled here in the Dallas area, and they had our grandson. My grandson is going to go up on a year now this month, and so that's been great because they're only 20 minutes away from me.
Oh, that's great!
Yeah,
and you're still living in a residence inn. You could have you should have said, "Hey, I've raised you. Can I just live with you?"
No, it's that roommate thing again, dude.
Yeah, they're not quite. Well, they don't want pops in there,
Yeah, who's the first person they call when they need a babysitter? "Hey, Dad, can you come over and babysit for a night?"
Yeah, that's been great. That's been great, but they don't want me to live in full time with them.
You wouldn't want to live with a 1-year-old again either, I'm sure.
No,
right?
I don't. I'm not sure I want to do that. So,
how often do you guys still? People are even asking in the chat. Do you coaching staff has a lot of connections to that Iowa football program? Do you guys stay up to date? Do you talk about that Hawkeye football program a lot in the coach's office?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, some of my offensive plays we have a Hawkeye play. We call it Hawkeye. It's a pass play, of course.
Oh, I thought it was a naked bootleg.
Yeah, I should call it that. Yeah, you're right. But anyway, yeah, we talk about the Iowa days for sure, and good old stories, and in particular, we're coming up on our 40th year of our Big Ten championship year in 1985. So there's going to be a big reunion in Iowa City, I believe, late September. I think the last game in September in Iowa City. Bob is actually going to be there. He was a GA on that.
Yeah.
On that staff. So Dan McCarney's coming back. It's going to be a big deal. 40 years, guys. I mean, I don't know where the time's gone, but so we talk about that and going back to that, and then we all of a sudden the stories come out, when we're sitting around having a cigar and a beer or whatever, So
I would pay any amount of money to be part of that group, just to be a fly on the wall,
just to listen.
Be able to listen to those stories, because
that's great.
I bet there's great stories, but I bet there's some little nudging too, like, hey, you remember when you did this?
Oh yeah. There's some of that I can't say on the air, but anyway. It's really been fun. Again, it keeps my toe in the coaching, and not that I need my toe in it. It's just been a lot of fun being able to reconnect with Bob and the guys, and have some fun coaching some football.
Before we move on to the Iowa games, this is because this is a side hustle, right? The coaching gig is a side hustle because you mentioned the I mean, but still. Do you find Bob Stoops, yourself, all the assistants taking it just as serious as if it's a full-time gig?
Well, the competitive juices do flow. There's no question about it. I mean, I'm the play caller, and there's still intensity to play calling. You could hit my head. You could hit my head over to put a hammer on my head during the course of a game, and I'll never feel it. That's kind of the intensity of play calling. And so I get into that mode, and then afterwards I'm totally exhausted like I used to be, after calling a game. So yeah, there's the intensity of that and the competitive juices that flow. and the guys on your team take it seriously. I mean, this is their career.
Yeah.
They're invested in it, and you want to be invested with them and for them. And so, yes, it's like coaching. Once you get into it, it's intense. But we do have some good breathers, and we do relax a little bit more, afterwards, and kind of let it go. And that's also healthy too. I like it because it, works my brain, guys. It keeps my brain sharp, my mind sharp. And that's why I like to do it. And so anyway, yeah, there's still intensity to the job for sure.
But those breathers that you talk about, Chuck, is the perspective different? I mean, like in the NFL, obviously, those breathers are still very intense. You're talking about a livelihood that's at stake here. When you get to those breathers, is the perspective a little different?
A little different. It's not like college coaching where you're done with the game. Now you got to go recruit,
yeah,
or find some NIL money for somebody. I mean, that's a whole different animal, and that's a young man's game, to be honest with you guys. But this is more, hey, it's just pure coaching. The beauty of the UFL, guys, is everybody gets paid the same. So you don't have that $1 million guy that, hey, coach, I want to do what I'll tell you what to do. I'll show up when I want to show up, that kind of thing. So you don't have to cater to that. If it's not working out, you can let them go, whatever the case may be. And so that part of it, it's just, to me, it's even pure football and pure coaching, because everybody gets paid the same and they're really vested in it. We don't have any problems with guys because they're really hungry for this. But the breather you're talking about, it's just, I've learned in coaching, just you got to unwind. You have to, and Bob does a great job of that. Hey, you guys got to digress and unwind after these games, and let's go have a beer, have a cigar, whatever the case may be, and just relax and get away from it a little bit for a couple of hours.
As you get closer to that 40th anniversary, when you go to the office today, you want to say, hey, Bob, if you want to do the rush with Travis and Ross, we would be more than happy to do a Bob Stoops interview too. Just if you want to plant that seed, just say, hey, McCartney's going to do it. Just you can't let Dan have all the limelight.
I'll give it a shot. Yeah, I'll let him know for sure.
What was Ferentz a part of that staff on that 85 team too? Right.
Yeah, it was the legendary staff. You had 5 coaches on that staff who became the all-time winningest coach at their respective universities. Now, how many people can say, how many staff?
That's incredible.
Yeah, you had Kirk Ferentz on the staff. You had Dan McCartney, who's now been passed up by Matt Campbell. You had Bob Stoops as a GA, Bill Snyder, and Barry Alvarez. So
wow,
yeah, you had a magical staff. 4 Hall of Fame coaches on that staff. But the impressive thing is 5 coaches went on to become the all-time winningest coach at their respective universities.
Wow. This is a weird question. At that time, did you see that sort of thing from those guys? I mean, obviously Bob was a GA. Probably hard to see 40 years down the road for him. But like with Coach Alvarez and Coach Stoops, Coach Snyder, maybe specifically.
Coach Snyder.
Yeah. Did you see that those skills at that time?
Yeah, we did. I mean, we knew it was a magical staff just the way they were. Now, you never know how it was going to turn out, obviously, at the time, and you're just a college kid trying to get through the day and all that. But we knew we had something special with the staff, and with, of course, with Hayden Fry leading the charge. We knew he was special, and but as time goes on, you realize how really special it was, and those guys were. I mean, to be coached by 2 Hall of Fame coaches, and Hayden Fry and Bill Snyder, those were my coaches, as a quarterback. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And I would say this about Coach Snyder. People ask me who you think the greatest college football coach in history. Without a doubt, I say Bill Snyder. If you look at what he did at Kansas State, they had 70 years of losing football. He took over a program, I think, that was winless for 2 years.
Oh, they were horrible. They were horrible.
20 total wins in the 80s at Kansas State. during that decade and what he did. Everybody thought he was crazy taking that job, and look what he did. So anyway, I was really blessed and fortunate to be coached by two Hall of Fame guys that went on to do great things.
So you mentioned the downtimes are there, but you probably don't have much downtime because you're coaching football and you're probably getting on one of these calls every single day to talk to your staff back in Iowa with the Iowa Sports Foundation because you're just 2 months away from the Iowa games.
Right. Well, a lot of planning is going on right now.
And that's a good time to miss. You're like, I don't want to plan anymore.
Well, to be quite honest, I think my staff likes when I'm down here. You know how it is. Get rid of the boss and let us do our work. You know what I mean? So I think they enjoy that. But I like coming back, at a good time. It's perfect time for me to come back to the game, to the corporate games and the Iowa games of the summer. And so, that's when I pitch in. I come in and I really listen to what they want me to do. I'm the ice man during the games. I carry the ice. I go get the lunches, whatever the case may be. I'll do all that stuff for them. But yeah, it's all planning right now. We have we start with the games here pretty soon. We have senior games coming up in the beginning of June at Valley High School in West Des Moines. So a lot going on, but it's all planning right now.
So people can get signed up for the Iowa games at the iowagames.org. You brought up the corporate games. Now, I live in Nebraska, but my company recently has started participating in the Nebraska corporate games. Right. You probably know Dave Manerick, who runs them. And I will tell you, Ross, the employees at my work, they love the corporate games. It's about competition, but it's also so if you work for a corporation, you go to your HR people and say, hey, this is more than just competitiveness. It is team building. It's camaraderie. It's bringing everybody together. I think corporate games are a really unique way to put your own competition, but also a team building exercise.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chuck. Yeah.
Yeah. We have over, we got the model from Kansas City 9 years ago. That's what they do in Kansas City. They've been doing it for 30 years. So we looked at their model. We met with them. We brought it back. We formed our own model. Now we're 9 years running, 8 going on 9 in Des Moines. And then we've opened up Quad Cities and Cedar Rapids, Iowa City. So we have over 150 companies doing that. Yeah, it's grown. And then Nebraska, like you said, Travis, they came to us and said, hey, we want to look at your model. So we gave them our model, and that's where Nebraska's taken off with it. So it is a great team building. I get so much feedback from companies that it's really changed our culture in our company, and we love hearing that feedback. But it's a monster right now for us. It's really grown.
Travis, it's something that you look forward to. I mean, like that it is a team building thing, and some of those things get kind of corny, and this is one I took part in these several years ago. Man, they are, and never with the corporation that we worked for because we didn't do stuff like that. But I'd get invited to be a part of other corporations that had good cultures, and the people loved those corporate games. It was a lot of fun.
We love the dart competition because we have one of the top 5 ranked dart players in the Midwest that works for us.
Oh, so you got a ringer.
We got a ringer, man.
We got a ringer.
We go into the bars. We're like, we got Sonny. Sonny's going to throw the darts today.
Yeah, we have every game possible. I mean, we have everything from darts to horseshoes to whatever. We'll if they want it, we'll add it.
What's the is the Iowa game still growing, or is it the corporate games that's growing, or the senior games that it's growing the most for you right now?
Corporate games for sure. It's really exploded. I mean, we started, to give you an idea, 8 years ago with I think about 40 companies, and now we're 150 plus.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that's really grown. The Iowa games have been steady. It just depends on which sport that we're not competing against. Soccer is still huge in our Iowa games, really big. Track and soccer are still big. Those are our staples in our games. Senior games is pretty steady. Depends on the year. Like if it's a qualifying year, we'll have more participants. Now the national senior games are coming to Des Moines after our senior games. So they're not. They work hand in hand just for the seniors participating to qualify, and then they'll go to the national senior games. So Greg Edwards and his bunch of Catch Des Moines are working with the national senior games, committee, and they're bringing that to Des Moines late. I think that's late August. So that's a whole separate thing than ours, but it's the same. There are a lot of the same participants, but that's a big deal.
I didn't even realize. So with the senior Iowa games, that's every couple of years. That's a qualifying event for the national senior games. I didn't even know that.
Right. Every 2 years it's a qualifying year. So, and then wherever the national senior games are, and again, we're fortunate to have it in Des Moines this year. They pick a different city.
Yeah.
They pick a different city. But anyway, to answer your question, the corporate games is probably the fastest growing. But we're really pleased with all the rest of them as well.
Okay, you're an athlete. Are you participating in the senior games? Not to call you a senior, but I think we're both seniors now.
I always do. I haven't done it. I go there and I help out, and I like to get around to all the participants, and I know most of them, and they're the same people. A lot of them are the same people. That's what I do now. I was in that 1,500 meter race, but man, that got me. That got me after a while.
Why would you pick the mile? Why would you pick the mile?
I know. I picked the mile, and because I like to run, but I do mostly now. I go visit and volunteer and help the staff is what I do now.
Now he waits.
That's my excuse, guys. That's my excuse.
Waits at the finish line to shake hands. That's what people want from Chuck Long, right?
I shake hands, and then I give out. We have a little Hall of Fame ceremony that I give out awards and talk about it. We have pictures and all that kind of thing. So I may get in one of those again. Now I like to get into pickleball. Pickleball is huge. I like pickleball. It's something that I've done in the senior games, and I'm planning on doing it again.
Watch people are blowing their Achilles tendons out left and right on the pickleball. That's like
ACL, MCL. It's yeah.
Did you ever have a major injury when you were playing?
I had Tommy John surgery when I was my third year in the NFL. Yeah, it really set me back in my career because I couldn't grip the ball at all, and I couldn't even drink a glass of water without hurting.
I've never heard. We hear Tommy John surgery, you automatically just think pitchers.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever heard quarterbacks having Tommy John surgery.
I know. I just overthrew, and it just became chronic. And like I said, I couldn't throw the ball 10 yards, and they sent me out to Frank Jobe is the guy behind the Tommy John surgery. He's the one that gave it to Tommy John. He was the inventor of it, a doctor in California. So Detroit, the Lions sent me out there, and he looked at it. He said, "Oh yeah, you need surgery." It was devastating. It was devastating to hear that. But I tried to work my way back. I actually managed to, after that year, stay in the league 4 more years. And when you have diminishing skills or a diminishing arm, hanging around for 4 more years was I was very fortunate.
It was a miracle.
Good for the pension, though. Fortunate. Good for the pension. Good for the pension.
Yeah, got the pension. So I played 8. I was in the League 8, so I did get the pension, and that's been great for sure.
All right, Chuck. I know you're a busy guy. I know you got game plan, and you guys are at Washington, I believe, this week, right?
Yeah, we played the DC Defenders. Yes,
they're number 1 in the league right now. They're 5-2. You guys are 3-4, I believe.
We're 3-4. So this is do or die, guys. We got to win. We're pretty much out of the playoff race. So we have to win out. We have 3 more games we have to win out. No doubt about it.
So what does your Thursday look like then? I mean, obviously you're up and at 'em early today. What time do you guys get together, or what does this schedule look like in the UFL?
We have a walkthrough day today, 8:30 at the stadium. We go to Choctaw Stadium, which is the old Texas Ranger Stadium. The new Texas Ranger Stadium, Globe Life, is right across the street, and then Jerry World is right down the street as well. So we're right here in the sports mecca of Dallas. But we'll do a walkthrough at 8:30, and then we'll meet with them afterwards, let them go early, and then we have one more practice tomorrow. Then we're on the plane Saturday morning. And you guys, you'll like this. So we get on the plane with the DC Defenders. They're in the front part of the plane, and we're in the back part of the plane. We go in the back, and they go in the front, so we never cross paths in the plane.
Is there a curtain? Is there a curtain?
There's no curtain. It's just, we're right in the middle, and they're in the front, we're in the back, so we share the same plane. It's really interesting, but it's very efficient. There's no problems with it, and with us, we have 5 home games. Well, with the rest of the teams, they're all, I don't know if you guys know this, but they're all housed here in Arlington. So all 8 teams are here in Arlington, in Dallas and Arlington area.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and there's 4 facilities, and so there's 2 teams per facility. One takes the morning shift, which we have, and the other one takes the afternoon shift in the deal. So that's how it works. So,
who do you share Choctaw with?
Birmingham, the Birmingham Stallions. So you have that. So we're fortunate enough to have 5 home games, so we don't have to go anywhere. Well, every other team has to travel, 9 times. Or 10 times to their home stadium. Yeah, so travel gets a little, hectic and tiring for the other teams. We're hoping DC's tired from their travel.
Well, and the reason you do this, because running a football league, we saw it with the XFL, we saw the USFL, it's expensive. You're trying to just manage everything to keep expenses low, to keep this viable. What I couldn't imagine is these guys are trying to get an NFL contract. I can't imagine playing a full UFL season, then turn around and play a full NFL season. That would be a grind on the body.
Oh my gosh, Travis, think of the stress of the mental stress. You're worn down, and now you finally got that golden opportunity where you got to be at peak performance every day.
Yeah,
man.
That's the challenge. I know, but they're hungry. I mean, they'll do it. Obviously their whole goal is to sign an NFL contract or get into a camp, and so this is a good way to showcase their skills and try to get in one of those camps. So, see what
Chuck, thanks so much for giving us time this morning, man. It's great to see
absolutely.
you, buddy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
When you get back in Des Moines, let's hook up for a beer or a drink or lunch or something.
That'd be great. I'm glad you guys are together doing this show. That's pretty cool. When did you guys start this?
Mid-January. They bounced the radio station bounced me out in November, and then took me a couple months to convince Trav to come with me. So
that's good. I'm glad you're back on your feet, Ross. I
appreciate that.
I saw that. I heard about that. Sorry about that.
That's all right, man.
No, it's much better.
It's a much better, Chuck. As you know,
we control our own destiny now. And
that's great. That's great.
So it's good. All right, buddy. We'll catch up soon. Thanks, Chuck.
See you, Chuck.
Good to talk to you guys.
Good to see you, man.
Chuck Long joining us on the Rush Radio Show. So much good information right there. I didn't know that about all 8 teams are. It makes perfect sense, though, right?
It does. Like you said, it's all financial, but dude, that's a weird situation to be in. Of your opponent is on the flight with you. They're at the front of the plane. We're at the back of the plane. There's a couple coaches in the middle. Trav, did you freeze? Did I freeze? Oh, no. Trav, are you there? Am I the one that's out, or are you the one that's out? Travis froze. All right, thanks, Scott. I was afraid it was me. Good news is it's Travis. We are going to be hooking up with Bruno here pretty soon, and I think I can probably do this. So let's do this. We're going to take a little time out. When we get back, Bruno will be joining us here as we wrap up a Thirsty Thursday here on The Rush, powered by Willis.
Spring is here, and so are spring pests. Whether it's birds in your dryer vent, raccoons in your chimney, squirrels in your soffit, ants in your kitchen, or bats in your attic, with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions can help. Call us today at 515-218-3400 to schedule your inspection and see how Bats and Bugs can help prevent your home from becoming their home.
The Royal Mile, where everyone's a wee bit British. The Royal Mile is downtown Des Moines' living room with classic pub favourites. Pair them with a glass of whiskey or an expertly poured Guinness. It's bloody brilliant. The Royal Mile, a proper British pub.
Fong's Pizza has moved to 317 East Court in the East Village and is ready for good weather with an expanded menu and a patio that is ready for pals, pints, and pizza. Fall in love all over again with the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
Hey everybody, this is Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Willis Infinity. We got some great stuff going on this month. Right now, you can get up to $4,000 off on a new QX80 and enjoy 2.9% for 60 months. On top of that, this month, you can enjoy 1.9% out to 60 months, an additional $1,000 off of a new QX60. For more information, stop at our showroom or visit us online at willisinfinity.com.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
When you do an internet radio show, you need the internet. And my internet crashed, Ross, and it crashed. But I learned something during that. I learned something because you have strong internet and we were still live on YouTube. You were still there. And so that I'm the one who disappeared. But you should have seen my face when I went, we have 0 bars. And it didn't kick me off. I'm like, oh, did it kick the live show off? And no, you were still operating it. So thank you.
I was able to get the break going. It worked out well. Bruno is hopping on with us. I could have brought. Whoa!
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
There he is.
Hi, hello, Bruno. Y'all.
What's up?
I did not experience any internet difficulties.
No, you're doing okay. You're doing okay. How's things going with the new Fongs? I just saw that commercial run for us. Made me think about that. I haven't been down there in about a week or so. So place is still standing, right?
Going well. We just hung the sign that we wanted to have up when we opened. So we have this big, huge sign off the building now. Well, huge compared to the old one.
Yeah.
No one maybe even notices, but they will notice that sign. Well, now they will because I mentioned it, anyone listening. But the sign is substantially larger. So
is it a Freudian thing or?
Well, let's just say sort of like that, you'll notice it more. You'll go, whoa, that's a big sign.
Size matters. Size does matter.
Well, if you're trying to get attention, at least.
How are things going with High Life and El Bait Shop, man? That's another place I'm usually down at High Life and El Bait Shop on a regular basis. We've got day baseball today, right, at Sec Taylor Stadium in Principal Park. So High Life and El Bait Shop should be hopping here pretty early.
And we had the Hawkeyes in. So
how was that?
Week, that was good. We had a lot of people downtown. Lots of people coming and going everywhere downtown. It seems pretty busy. The patio weather is kicking in, and the Mile and the Hessen House during Farmers Market's a good thing. But we also have the the Iowa Tap Room and Fong's and Truman's all running at full force now. Lucky Horse, all our patios are up, running, and desirable. I don't know if I mentioned before, I'm affiliated with Single Speed. This is when Single Speed gets really busy. I'm also affiliated. I'm part owner at Captain Roy's. Affiliated, it's weird. Part owner at Single Speed, part owner at Captain Roy's, and both those patios are just killing it right now. So pretty exciting. The weather's great. I was on my bike yesterday, the day before. I'll be on it today.
So what's happening down there by Single Speed? Are they building like a kayak park or something? They're doing a ton of work in the river right there by Single Speed. What is going to be there?
Yes, Russ. Welcome to Des Moines. It's the $125 million Icon Rivers project that's been going on for about 7-8 years.
Yeah, again, what is it?
In an article, Greg Edwards is leaving town. It's like one of the main mentions, one of the things that he helped worked with. The Icon River project is a deal where you can go down into the river and kayak and canoe and get on a tube, and it's just kind of turns the Des Moines to kind of bring it down to understandable. It turns it into kind of a lazy river that you can it turns it into a water park of sorts. And
how long? Because man, they've been working on it for a while, and it looks like they got a lot of work. Do you know what the timeline is on that?
I've heard that it's supposed to be this fall. It's supposed to be complete. You will, as the pictures I've seen, you get out of the river right at Single Speed too. So that's exciting. I've got a lot of things I'm working on with those guys. Hopefully to announce later in the summer. So that kind of goes along with all that. So it's pretty cool. Okay. And so with Captain Roy's on the top end of the river, and then Single Speed at the bottom is kind of it'll be a great way to work back and forth between the two places.
Cool.
With Fong's and Iowa Tap Room and every place in between.
I want to bring this up because I said this to Ross earlier, and it's an example of how local is better. The list of top 10 casual restaurants in the country came out earlier. And I was happy to say, Bruno, that of the top 10 restaurants in the country now that are considered casual, I'd only been to one of the top 10 in the last 10 years. I just don't go to chain restaurants. And I patted myself on the back. I go, I think we do a good job in this family, and I think Ross does as well, to go look for that local flair. Fong's, El Bait Shop, High Life Lounge, Captain Roy's.
I don't understand casual. What does that mean? Is it fast casual? Is it like obviously chains?
They're chains. That's what I think. They use casual as a substitute for chain restaurant, but not fast food.
My question really about that is, who cares? Who cares about those places? I mean, big deal. Like, of course, they already tell you to come to our place with tens of $1 million budgets. Applebee's is like, come and get our quarter pounder. It's bigger. It's like, you're not very logical here.
Number 4 on the list, by the way. Number 4 on the list was.
Well, they have the biggest quarter pound burger you're gonna get, because I
quarter pound's a quarter pound.
I know.
That's the point.
But people are gullible. I guess they look at an ad and they go, I gotta go. I think Busch Light's a great beer and people love it, and people go, why does it sell so much? I said 2 reasons. It's the cheapest beer you're gonna find that's advertised.
That's fair.
People get told they should get it, and then they see the price. If you see Fazoli's and it says $3.99 pasta, you're going to go, oh my God, I can't afford not to go.
What do you think the number one, and this is a new one, overtook the Olive Garden?
To give you an idea of how bad this is, Olive Garden had been the number one for so long that it was news that Olive Garden got knocked off the number one spot.
It's not even news, though, because they've basically didn't. Oh, no, that's Red Lobster filed bankruptcy.
Number 9 on the group. Number 9 on the list is right.
I thought that Red Lobster was. I thought they'd gone the way of the dodo.
You don't understand that. Like, those companies, what happens is they get purchased and stripped for parts, and then they just kind of do this slow dive down into bankruptcy. I couldn't tell you what the number one is, but it's. I'm sure it's something that I seen TV advertisements.
Oh yeah. Texas
Roadhouse. Texas Roadhouse. Yeah. Never been.
You know what? I know Ross's dad likes to go there. It must be a senior thing. I don't know. I've never been to a Texas Roadhouse. Never been to a Texas.
Cracker Barrel's a senior thing.
Yeah, that's true.
They have their motto is if you can taste it, we'll give you your money back.
But I was patting myself on the back because I'm like, I don't go to these places
where table pepper is spicy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't either. I don't. I either eat at home or eat at my places, and it's not because I don't believe other places do well. I guess I do have a handful of places I go to that can make food that I can't make the same way. I'm talking to Asian restaurants usually.
Yeah.
Or if I've heard a lot of great things about habaneros in my neighborhood, and I want to go check it out because every time I go past, it's full up. And
that's a good spot up there on Forest.
I mean, they started with a low bar. They had to be. Excuse me, I don't have the button out anymore.
You're right.
They had to get over a low bar of being better than the worst KFC Taco Bell that's ever existed in the Des Moines area. I mean, that thing was sketch.
True story. Bruno, I lived right across the street from that for like 2 years.
Did you eat there?
Unfortunately.
Oh yeah. I mean, you probably did if you lived close, but like it was
oh dude.
It was the staff there. Super sketchy. Like you're kind of like you had to be a little drunk to be able to eat there because you just had to like kind of had that stuff go past your mind. Because I don't know, that place is sketch.
One of my favorite days recording commercials, and this business is now long out of town. But we had a bar in town. They were a chain restaurant, and they bragged about how cold their beer was. That was like one of their selling points. We got the coldest beer in town. And Bruno's line for that was, beer so cold you can't taste it. Food so bad you wish you hadn't.
Yeah, I walked in the studio. I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that place was doomed from the beginning, too.
Not worth the mention, but I always thought that was a funny line.
No, but it makes me think that, like, people get fooled into it. Like, all I can say is tell me a situation that will beat knowing the people that you're spending your money with. When you go into Lamy Bakery and you see Joe Logston, which I did the last time I was there, doing yard work, pulling up trash out of the garden, out of his bed, and then he was going to put mulch down. That's what he did. He was doing that. I'm friends with him. And
by the way, he made the quiche.
Yeah, and you see like the innovations that he has. These ready to go, take it home and cook lasagnas or pot pies or pizzas, and their pastries are great. Coffee's great. We like my buddies and I like to sit on the back patio. Every time I go in there, there's some sort of community leader that, it's just a great place and you feel good about going there. You feel good about doing what I'm doing, telling people right now. And you go into Applebee's and I'm sorry, but I'd never met Mr. Appleby and I don't care. And that feeling good in the neighborhood, that whole nonsense of what's the other place? The neighborhood bar in the parking lot at Merle Hay Mall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like people are so fooled by like the idea of it. They see have you ever heard about when they do photography for food? Like, like don't eat that. You will die if you eat that because they monkey with it so much so it steams or does whatever. But if you actually ate it, your insides would do the same thing. But people see that and they go, I mean, I get it. It's the lizard brain. You're seeing it and going, oh my God, I got to have some riblets right now.
Riblets.
But if you think about it, your local guy's doing pretty much the same thing at this point. When we started, it was a lot of stuff we had to kind of make happen inside our business. Now we're kind of getting some of the same ingredients and things that these places are doing. So if you think there's something really amazing about something at their place, we're probably doing the same thing and purchasing the same stuff. There is a lot of really good stuff out there, really good product that you buy that makes the food taste good because you're buying a really substantially better product these days from the food purveyors, from we do a lot of business with Martin Brothers, which is an Iowa company, which is nice to be able to do. So that's. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything bad about anyone who goes to a Chick-fil-A, but like, come on, give me a break. It's a chicken sandwich. They didn't invent it. It's not. There's other ones that are just as good. I know people lose their minds over them. I don't get it. I just don't. But.
Yeah, and I said I've only been to one in the last 10 years. I've been to two. The Buffalo Wild Wings was on the list. They come in at number 5. And the other one I've been to, and I'm not going back anytime soon, would be Outback. And Owen and I went to Outback one night just because they're like, hey, let's go get something to eat. What's close? Oh, Outback's there. And then you go, oh, the Bloomin' Onion, that's a heart attack waiting to happen. And the steak was average. So I just looked at the top 10 and I'm like, I'm happy. I was happy that I hadn't gone to the top 10.
Now steak is a particular thing, but when somebody says, come on in and have a $9.99 steak, you're getting a $9.99 steak. That's all I'm saying. Like, you got to logically, intuitively know what you're getting. You're getting you're actually a lot farther away from your plate eating your steak than the camera was when you got excited about getting it. So it's like, wow, that steak isn't very big and it's okay. And I always go like, why would you buy a steak when you can grill it in your backyard,
Well, and if you're getting a $9.99 steak, you don't know the price of beef. I want to go, is that really beef? Because beef is really expensive right now.
Well, and I know that's a throwback. It's probably $12.99 now. I don't know. Here's something that perspective, you wouldn't think it. And we're all from Iowa. We all spent time in Iowa. We know this. Did you know that the elevation change in Iowa from the lowest to the highest point is 1,190 feet? Now that's a hill. That's not very big, right?
Yeah.
But from the low of 480 to the high of 1670, there's a 1,190 difference. But compare it to other states like Illinois that only has a 956, Florida 345, or Indiana 937.
Yeah, Florida's the flattest state. I knew that.
When they say that Iowa is just nothing but flat and whatever, and it's an interesting thing that people don't know. The other thing, one thing I found too, and I think you might know this, but I thought it's worthy of saying that, it's the best thing since sliced bread. Well, sliced bread was invented in Iowa.
Yeah. Guy, he was from Eastern Iowa.
Yeah,
Otto
Frederick Rowetter or something.
Rowetter. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I knew that.
You know what's crazy about what you just said? What'd you say the biggest elevation change was 1,100 feet?
Yep.
Well, not the biggest, just that we're more than others.
In Iowa.
Yeah.
So people who drive across Nebraska and that's just known as it's a straight shot, right? And you feel like you're like, oh my God, this is the flattest I've ever done. Did you know from Omaha to Scotts Bluff, it's a 3,000 foot elevation change? You would never know.
Slow incline.
Yes. I mean,
you'd know it if you were riding a bike.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, man, it seems like we're going uphill. Yeah, but for a really long time.
When I go to Des Moines, I'm up and down hills all the time. You're like, God, this is a big elevation.
Well, I saw when I was in Eastern Iowa and I was near McGregor, they have, like you see in the mountains, those sand, go to the side if you're a semi and you're losing your brakes. They have the sand like things where you the slow down sand pits in Iowa. I'm like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Here's something I know I don't talk about, or I talk about soccer, you guys poo-poo it, but here's a local legend, scored 1 goal in the JV game, and her first varsity soccer game, scored her first goal in a varsity soccer match this past Tuesday night. Blaine Bruning, my daughter.
Oh, congratulations, Bruno. That's awesome.
It was awesome to watch her score, sophomore scoring. She normally doesn't play offense, but it was pretty great. But the point I wanted to make, and I want to brag on my daughter. I'm proud of her. She's done a good job. She's really worked hard to get where she's at. But the same thing for the Roosevelt girls. They're 10-3-1 this year. They're doing really well. They're ranked 14th. The boys, which I watched afterwards, are ranked number 2 in the state. They've only lost by 1 to Dowling and tied Ames. They're 11-1-1. They are. If you don't think soccer's fun, but you want to check it out, go to a Roosevelt match. Those kids are amazing, and I'll tell you, the girls and boys, both amazing teams. They do really well. They're fun to watch. They score. I mean, Roosevelt girls won 8-1, and the Roosevelt boys were 0-0 at half and came back in the second half and won 4-0. It's just exciting. It's fun. The kids are like rubber. I can't believe they go down, fall down, get back up, hustle. These athletes, they're 100% athletes. It's amazing to watch. It's fun.
Bruno, we're getting a business question coming in, and I remember a couple of years ago, you had Top and Goliath in with us on the old show, and they were coming to the Drake neighborhood. Casey wants to know, when is Top and Goliath coming to Drake neighborhood? Is that
somewhere between never and the next 2 years? It's
I don't like that answer. Oh, really?
Well, it's undecided. I mean, you're both in the industry. There's a lot of choices you have, decisions you have to make. Bank loans, cost of goods, is it worthwhile? I mean, from what I've heard, well, I've talked to Clark Louie, and Clark Louie is still looking into it, but he has never said, okay, yeah. I will say this: they've just broke ground, what they call the Merge Project. It was just north of the Varsity Theater, really close. You can see it from the Lucky Horse. They have broke ground, so that project is moving, but that project has been cut down in size by 50%, and has been pushed back by 2 years since the first time I heard of it. So now it is moving forward. So now it's worth kind of having a conversation. Is it going to happen? And it's one of those things is like the brewing industry isn't like killing it.
It's seen a major downturn since that. And I mean, honestly,
but part of
years ago it was killing.
Yeah. But part of the thing is you got like, maybe you need to have a place where they can go to drink your beer too. So it's a business decision. Do you want to do that or hold on? Everyone's trying to do different things. I want to just announce that on June 6th, the Old Tavern Beer is coming back to Des Moines at the Royal Mile. Royal Mile, we'll talk more about this, was formerly a tap room for the Old Tavern Brewery, which was Des Moines Brewing Company, which is the brewery catty corner from the bait shop. The beer is coming back after a over 110-year hiatus being made in Des Moines. Confluence is making it, and we're hosting an event there, and we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with Old Tavern Beer. Really fun, really cool. Can't wait to introduce it to everyone. Lots of fun.
So you threw a lot at us there. So Old Tavern used to be a brewery catty corner from El Bait Shop.
Well, the building still exists. You know it now as the pizza place, Fuzzy Tacos. Blaze.
Well, that's okay. The renovated building. All right.
The renovated, but it was built and introduced to the world in 1911 and went out of business a year later because of Iowa Prohibition.
So then John Martin got the recipe for this beer.
The recipe's long gone, but I will tell you that the recipes kind of, they're all that kind of, it's all lager beer. We're talking like a Busch Light, Bud Light, Coors Light kind of beer, easy drinking. So it's come back. It's going to be a 4.2% alcohol by volume. John Martin makes great beer. They've already sold their first batch. They've put in another one, and it's not even finished yet. So very exciting. And if you look at the Royal Mile on the side, it says Old Tavern. Was painted on the side at one time. Well, one time the owners of the brewery owned that building, and just like today, some breweries can't sell their beer at their brewery, or they couldn't back then. So the Royal Mile was a tap room for Old Tavern back then. Way back.
We don't have much time to go down this rabbit hole, but I was in Templeton last Friday, and I went ahead and did the distillery tour, the full tour, and it's I believe it's the second time I've done it, but at this one they explained all the bureaucracy of the government and alcohol, and it's crazy. I didn't know. I knew everything had to go through a distributor, but I didn't know their alcohol had to go to Urbandale first to a warehouse, And then, I mean, Ross, it's crazy the levels of money that you want to know why alcohol costs so much money? It's because they distill it, goes to Urbandale, and then the distributors pick it up. They're only allotted so much space. I was sitting there going, government gets in the way in so much stuff. Is it the same rules for beer too?
I mean, like you say, there's a lot of stories there, but yes, it does have to. They have workouts and stuff where you can just shuffle paperwork instead of actual physical kegs. But your state's even worse. Can you imagine being way out in western Nebraska and having to take all your liquor into Omaha or Lincoln? I can't remember.
Wow.
Your state warehouse is in Omaha or Lincoln. I can't remember, but everything has to flow through there, and at least Des Moines in the center of the state.
Centrally located, yeah.
And a little smaller.
It's taken me listen, the 3-tier system that we have in Iowa. We've talked about this before, man. I was part of a great conversation between the Duaxes about this and eavesdropping in on that system. It's got its pluses and its minuses, right, Bruno?
Well, it's a 3-tier system in America, not just Iowa.
Oh, okay,
3-tier system exists across the United States. We're just a control state where liquor is a little bit more taken over by the state, which we're one of like a fifth of the states in the union have that. So,
all right, Bruno, always good
buddy.
catching up, buddy. Appreciate it.
Nice talk.
Oh, cut him off. Cut him off.
Nice to talk to you, buddy. Love you.
Hey, if you want to go to the Greenbelt Music Festival, we have a pair of tickets, weekend passes. These are $149 tickets. So you're getting $300 for the tickets. What we want you to do is take a picture of yourself or a video, tag Rush Radio on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, X, and show us you drinking an Atlantic Coca-Cola bottling product.
Yeah,
Or
maybe
power.
take a photo with one of our sponsors. Maybe you're at Fong's. Maybe you're at the Willis Auto place today. Stop in. Yeah,
maybe
take
Corey's
a photo.
coming out to get rid of your bugs and your bats.
Perfect.
Yeah, just do it, and we'll reach out to you later today and give you a pair of Greenbelt Music Festival tickets. We're back tomorrow morning. Jamie Pollard going to join us at 7:30, so get ready for that. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
Spring is here, and so are spring pests. Whether it's birds in your dryer vent, raccoons in your chimney, squirrels in your soffit, ants in your kitchen, or bats in your attic, with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions can help. Call us today at 515-218-3400 to schedule your inspection and see how Bats and Bugs can help prevent your home from becoming their home.
Hi everyone and welcome to May. It's finally starting to feel like spring. I'm John Lanera, sales manager here at Willis Lexus, and this month we've got some great specials. We have interest rates as low as 3.79 on select models, and if you prefer to lease, we have $1,000 of lease cash on RX, $2,000 on ES and ES Hybrid, and $2,500 on NX Gas. And don't forget this month we've got the Principal Charity Classic coming on, so expect to see you guys out there. I invite you to stop out and take a look, or visit us online at willislexus.com.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.